edition of Find My Divine, the show that is about making sense in a senseless world. If you are experiencing conflict and you are looking for peace within that conflict or from the conflict you may be experiencing in your life and the conflict that you see happening in our world, we believe that you have come to the right place. If you are looking for calm amongst the storm, if you are looking for intuitive guidance, if you are looking for direction when the path ahead seems to be filled with turbulence and roadblocks, welcome to Find My Divine. My name is Stefan Rybak, and it is my honor, my gift, and my pleasure to be with you this evening on this Wednesday, July the 6th in the year 2022. Welcome to the show, Peter Marks. Peter Marks has been a spiritual life coach for 30 years. He has done psychic readings for royalty, for Hollywood celebrities, people from all walks of life. Peter provides insights on career and love life, family, personal issues, professional issues, and Peter is known for his uncanny accuracy. He is a deeply spiritual man, and Peter believes that faith is a powerful force that can shape lives and shape society and shape the world in very, very positive and very powerful ways. Peter's clients adore his warm and friendly personality, his unique approach, his positive perspective. Good evening, my friend and my brother and my colleague. Good evening, Peter Marks.
Good evening, Stefan. It's wonderful to be here. I feel very uplifted, and what an amazing introduction.
At this time, we would like to welcome Linda Martuch to the show. Linda is an expert in meditation and in consciousness. She is an expert in astral projection, in quantum healing, in neuro-linguistic programming. She is such a talented and gifted person, and we are deeply honored to have her as a guest on the show. Linda, good evening to you.
Hi, how you doing?
We're doing very, very well. Now, where are you participating in this show from this evening, Linda?
I'm in Florida.
So Peter is in Connecticut. I'm in New York. You are in Florida, and we have people watching literally from all over the world. And so, Linda, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule. And we are just so excited to have you on the show this evening. At this point in time, we welcome Laura to the show. Hello, Laura.
Hi, guys. Thank you very much for picking me, allowing me to be on your show. It's great.
Now, Laura, where are you tuning into the show?
I am Chicago, Illinois, so right in the center of the U.S.
Chicago, Illinois, and just a couple of days ago, we had an incredibly sad and horrific episode of violence happen just on the outskirts of Chicago in Highland Park. And we want to offer our most positive and loving vibration and most God-filled vibration, not only to the people of Highland Park and Chicago, but people all over the world. Now, Laura, what is your date of birth?
5/16/74.
5/16/1974. May 16th, 1974. So you had a birthday kind of sort of recently. And birthdays are always very, very exciting. Say hello to Peter and say hello to Linda.
Linda, hi, you guys. Thank you. What an honor. It's such a privilege of mine. Thank you.
Hey, Laura.
Steffi Start, our great podcast. I can't see anybody.
I'm not sure why that might be, Peter, but we can see you. Is there a way that we could see you? So I'm wondering if something on your end is not turned on, Peter, because we can see you clearly and we can hear you fine.
All right. Should I try to come on again and just go on with the show?
Well, let's do this. Laura is on, Is there a way
Okay.
that would you feel comfortable doing a reading for Laura knowing her date of birth? Can you hear?
Yes, I can hear Laura.
Okay.
Yes,
So
I can
until
hear
you
Laura.
get your video back, Pete, until you get that back, let's pretend that we're doing a radio show. Remember, we used to do the radio shows, and so people would call in and you would do a reading that way. So we're going to kind of sort of take a page out of that book. Does that work for you?
Absolutely.
That does work for me. Absolutely. I don't have
Okay,
a
Laura,
problem with
say hello to Peter.
Hi, Peter. It's my privilege. Thank you very much. What an honor.
You're quite welcome, Laura. The first thing, Laura, that I want to say for you, this is going to be your year. This is definitely going to be your year. Now, I want to ask you, are you going through a reevaluation this year?
I sure am, for sure.
All right. They're talking to me about reevaluation. They're telling me new directions coming up for you. And they're saying to me, you're looking at being challenged more. Is that making sense to you?
Yeah, could be, for sure. Yes. Yes.
All right. Now, I also wanted to find out, and I'm going to go on with this. I want to say to you, was there somebody missing in your life growing up? Did somebody not, they keep on telling me somebody wasn't always around, or somebody in the family passed early?
Yeah, I had an aunt that was pretty traumatic to me when died at a very young age.
All right, because this was a female telling me how connected she is with you, and she's coming in now, how much she loves you and how proud she is of you.
Thank you. That's a wonderful thing to say. Thank you. I know exactly who you're talking about.
All right. I also wanted to ask you this. Now, they're talking to me. They keep on saying water. Are you living on the water, or do you want to live on the water?
I'd love to. I do not now, but I would love to live on the water.
All right, because you guys are telling me that is going to be coming up for you in the future. And I do feel that part with the water. The other thing they are showing me, they keep on saying to me, watch out with the health. Now, are you feeling stressed at all?
Yeah, I'm stressed. Pretty thick stress.
All right, I'm feeling stress and depression.
Yep, correct.
All right. Now, are you handling this? Are you combating this? Because your guides are saying they don't want you to just let go of it.
Okay. I'm not combating it as good as I should. I've been a widow for 3 years, and I'm just coming out of that cloudiness.
All right, because your husband, the other person is also here.
Oh, good. Good. I miss
Well,
him.
you've got a lot of people signing up to really want to talk to you. I feel a great sense of loss, but I'm being told by the other side, they're both watching over you. They are both at this point watching over you. Now, I also want to ask you this. Have you considered doing something in business on your own? Because they're telling me they send you love, they're supporting you right now, but they said to focus on you. Are you looking at where you belong in business?
I started a job 9 months ago, and I'm just now getting my feet wet and finding my way.
Okay, and how are you feeling about it?
Better than I was 6 months ago. So I was probably a little bit lazy, and I'm definitely feeling more challenged and more energized by this job.
All right, let me say this to you, and I don't mean this in any negative way.
No, it's okay.
I feel you're very creative. There's creativity here. And you need to be busy. If you're not busy, you get frustrated and bored.
For sure.
So we need something during the day that is going to challenge you so you can be multitasking during your work. You love to talk. They're saying to me, you love to communicate. That's one of your strongest points. That's one of your strong areas. Now, I also am being asked, they're telling me they want you to challenge yourself even more. Are you understanding that?
Yeah, I think so. I've been pretty lazy with this job too. So I feel I understand that. Yes.
All right. The other thing I want to say to you, don't doubt yourself. Challenge yourself. Don't doubt yourself because you're holding yourself back.
Got it. Makes sense.
You need confirmation, but you're extremely talented. Don't you recognize that?
Thank you. I can recognize that more with myself, and I have not been.
Oh, you haven't. All right. Now, the other thing I'm being shown, is there anything or connection with you with beauty, with decorating, with anything? They keep on showing me you're very creative.
Yes, I did a remodel of my home last year, and I'm putting the decorating finishing touches on every room.
Okay. They keep on telling me to go do more and more and more. It's going to be a phenomenal year for you. I also want to let you know, down the road, you're going to own more than one property.
Okay. That would be nice.
So, and I'm being told for you to relax because at times you drive yourself crazy and you get yourself all worked up for no reason.
That is true.
Now, Laura, I want to ask you, have you ever, prior to tonight, have you ever spoken with Peter Marks?
I have not, no.
You've never spoken with Peter Marks. Have you ever communicated with Peter Marks? You ever sent him an email or a text message, or you ever communicated with him in any way prior to him speaking with you this evening?
No, not to my knowledge at all.
Zero
No.
communication.
Zero communication.
Okay. I've been working with Peter for a number of years now, and one of the words that always pops into my mind pertaining to Peter is the word amazing. Now, this show was done live, and sometimes when you do a live broadcast, different technical issues come up, and Peter can hear you, but he can't see you. And normally the way this works is Peter has a conversation. He can see you and you can see him, but for whatever reason, he hasn't been able to see you tonight. So it is just amazing and astounding that Peter can't see you. He's just going by the sound of your voice and your date of birth. And let me ask you a question, Laura. Peter has provided you with so much accurate information over the last few minutes. What is your reaction to Peter Marks?
So my reaction, I'm a little stunned because I kind of had a different preconceived notion of what I was gonna ask or feel. I have a broken heart, not just from my husband's death, but from dating last year, and I just I kind of thought I was going into it with looking for little answers in the love department. So to take it to my business level, my professional level, and talking to hearing from my loved ones that have gone before me is dead on, spot on the money. And it's very reassuring to me, and it's definitely calmed me down.
And he mentioned the two loved ones that were closest to you. Is that not correct?
Yeah, it's an aunt from my childhood who I was very close with, and then my husband.
So we thank you for coming on the show tonight, Laura.
My pleasure. Thank you.
What a way to get tonight's broadcast started. And we will continue to pray and hold close in our hearts everyone in the Chicago and the Highland Park area. And we invite you to come back on the show. Somebody in the background wanting to be acknowledged. Who is that?
Yeah, that's the boss of the house. So I apologize. Thank you, guys.
No, that's okay. We love dogs. What's the dog's name?
It's Charlie. He's a golden doodle,
Charlie.
And he's 8 years old.
Okay, so Charlie wants to be acknowledged on the show, and that's why he's speaking out. So, Laura, thank you very much for coming on the show. And we invite you to come back and let us know how things are going for
Yeah,
you.
for
Would you
sure.
do that,
Thank you,
please?
guys. Take good care of yourself.
Thank you. Good luck to you and God bless you. I would like to ask Linda. Linda, we were talking about Highland Park, Illinois, where that horrific shooting, mass shooting took place 2 days ago. And prior to coming onto the show, we were talking about consciousness and most people not understanding who they are. And you said a phrase that many of us have heard numerous times. It's become a cliche, but it is really so true. The words are true. They are not cliche. And the words are love is the answer. And to paraphrase what you said before we came on the broadcast tonight, you said, if we don't find love as the answer, then we're in big trouble.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's true.
And so would you please share with the group, Linda, a little bit about self-consciousness and how does one begin to discover themselves? How does one begin to understand who they are?
I would say that I would start with compassion for yourself. We have a tendency as humans to be super critical, and we have a lot of responsibilities, and we have a lot of pressures, and we have a lot of fear currently, and it seems like a lot of threats, and it seems like everything is uncertain and everything is shaky and the framework isn't as sturdy as it used to be. So there's a lot of people that are feeling very uncertain about a lot of things. And I would say that the first step would be to be compassionate with yourself. Say, listen, I am nervous. I am worried. I am concerned. I do feel threatened. And that's okay. It's a reasonable response to the situation. It might not be the response that makes me feel the best, but you start there and you say, I get it. I understand that. I'm an okay human and I'm doing fine. And then what you do is you start to reach out and find other people who might be feeling the same way. One of the best ways to feel better is actually to give what you need to someone else. So if you need comfort, you give comfort to someone else. If you need a hand up, you give a hand up to someone else. And I think one of the best things we could possibly do now is to reach out in kindness to each other. Maybe pay it forward just a little bit. A smile, eye contact, hello, wave at the neighbor. Just open your heart a tiny bit. And every time you do that for another person, you can feel that reflecting back to you, regardless of how they respond. Everybody is stressed. Everybody needs a little extra compassion. Everybody needs a little extra love. So you give that love to yourself, and then you do your best in whatever teeny tiny little way you can. Give that love to other people as much as possible.
Now, Linda, we live in an instant gratification society.
Yeah.
Self-development and self-improvement is not something that happens instantly. But all of that said, is there something that our viewers can do right now after the show tomorrow morning to take the next step with finding love within themselves for themselves?
Well, if love is your goal and love is your key, then what you need to do is look for it. And what will amaze you is if you really look for it, it's everywhere. Now, we're kind of trained to think that love is with some really strict parameters, like romantic love or, love of a mother for a child. But in reality, love is a lot of places. Love is when somebody, pauses in the car to let you go first. Or love is when you see somebody stop and help someone else across the street. Love could be you drop something and somebody helps you to pick it up. Those are all manifestations of love. And I would say you can find love in the tiniest things. A lot of times love is expressed in gratitude. So even people in the most desperate situations can find something to be grateful for, even if it's just a roof over my head, even if it's just, I'm not, terribly hot or not terribly cold. The weather is comfortable. Even if it's I have a soft bed to sleep for the night. Even if it's, I have a friend, even if you only have one friend. So finding the gratitude in your heart is a very good first step. And then recognizing that love is everywhere, even in the objects that we have in our house. There's a lot of things there that can remind us of times that were perhaps better. Photographs of the love that was then. For instance, if you have a photograph of a loved one in your house, realize that love never dies. Love never dies. And all the love that was there at the time that you were with those people, all the love that you shared with those people, you can have that love now. Just remember, take a couple of deep breaths, settle yourself, and go back to a memory of that time and let the emotion come back to you. All you have to do is allow it. Just honestly allow it.
Linda, thank you very much for that. We welcome to the show Denise, who has been waiting patiently backstage. Denise, good evening to you.
Good evening.
Where are you watching the show from tonight?
From Memphis, Tennessee.
Memphis, Tennessee, the land of Elvis. Have
Yes.
you seen the new Elvis movie yet?
No, I haven't.
You might want to go see. Peter Marks has a starring role. He's actually the movie. Everybody thinks it's about Elvis, but it's really about Peter Marks. It's pretty astounding.
Okay.
You know I'm teasing, right? You got to have a little fun.
Yeah.
Linda talked about love, and love is really the answer, but you also have to laugh. So we also like to have a little fun on this show because we talk about such serious things, and laughter is such a great release. Peter's not in the movie, but go see it anyway. Denise, what is your date of birth?
September 8th, 1972.
September 8th of 1972, 9/8/72. Now, for those of you who may not know, Peter Marks is also an astrologer. And Peter has created an astrological forecast, and the information that he procures for people for that forecast is based on their date of birth. So that is why we ask everybody's date of birth. Peter, what do we have for Denise?
Well, for Denise, I want to say this year, Denise, I'm also picking up energy changes for you. You should be feeling much greater energy and much more dynamic energy than you have felt in quite a while. I don't get nervous with that. I also want to say to you, are you aware that you came into this life as a very old soul? You're a very old soul, and your priorities are your family. Do you recognize that?
Yes.
The family, the children, that is everything to you. Everything else can pretty much go by the wayside.
Yes.
Okay? Now, I also am going to say to you, I'm going to ask you this. You're a very dynamic soul. You don't like to settle. You don't want, and you won't settle. Are you in a relationship now, or are you looking for a relationship?
I'm looking.
I want to tell you this, hon. It's going to take an extraordinary man to win over your heart. You need somebody, a man that's dynamic, that is very energetic. I do pick up education. Education is going to be very important for you.
Yes.
And I want to say to you also that I see you love helping people. You
Yeah.
actually really love to help people. Are you going through a shift right now? Because are you reevaluating what you're doing right now, hon?
Yes.
All right. Do you know in which direction you want to go? Because what I'm being shown here is somebody, they keep on telling me you analyze everything. You
Yeah.
analyze everything, you dissect, you drive
Yes.
yourself a little crazy.
That's so
I
true.
mean that. All right.
No.
Um, yeah. So they are asking me if you're considering going back to school.
Well, I teach, so
You are
no,
all right. Then go ahead.
yeah,
All
and
right. You teach. All
yeah,
right. Go ahead.
yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So I have my master's degree, um, but I haven't thought about going back to school.
That's where they were talking to. They were showing me schooling. They were showing
Yep.
me it's because you work in a school.
Yep.
All right. That's why. Okay. All right. I want to say to you, they're going to be bringing somebody, and they're showing me next. They're saying in August. They're showing me in August. So get ready for this relationship. I want to say to you that I feel a relationship is going to be very, very important for you. I
Yeah.
feel that this is where you really are going to find your complete happiness, and they're telling me right now somebody is coming in for you. I also want to say there's a little girl in you. There's a little girl in you, and it's not negative, but you need somebody that wants to have fun. You need to
Yes.
have fun. You need to, all right?
True.
All
Yes.
right. So this is what they're showing me, and I do see you with a wedding gown on, which means that you are going to, it's going to be a marriage coming up for you. Do you have children right now?
Yes. I have a son and a daughter.
You have a son and a daughter. Okay. Now, is the father hasn't been around for a while?
Well, my daughter's father, we just got a divorce 3 years ago.
Oh, okay. Okay. Because they're going to bring in somebody that is worthy of your talents and a relationship for you. And I'm being told to be patient with this. I don't know. They're talking about first or middle name. Are you connected with a Clarence at all? They just said Clarence.
No, I'm connected with anything close to that would be a Lawrence.
Was it Clarence or Clarence? What? Because they're talking to me. Did you date a
Okay.
Lawrence?
Well, that was
Did you
my
date
daughter's.
me?
That's who.
Oh, this is your.
Uh-huh.
All right. Did I get it? All right. That we're talking about. Is this the man that you divorced?
Yeah.
All right. All right. They're on the right track. I got the first. I got the first letter wrong, but that's the person who they were talking about. Another relationship is coming in for you.
Okay.
Are you ready
Okay.
for this?
I'm ready.
Okay. You're ready. Okay.
I'm
There was they're saying somebody, this man is going to be very dynamic. I'm also picking up there's more children here. I think there may be 4 altogether.
Oh wow. Ooh,
Yeah. So it's going to be the Brady bunch.
am I ready for that?
You're not quite if you're ready for that. All right. So I'm sorry. I got the first initial wrong, but you're going to be very happy. They're telling me you're going to be very happy.
Now, Peter, I find it astounding that Denise's ex, his name is Lawrence,
I know, right?
but you
Yes.
said Clarence,
Right.
which
Yes.
phonetically sounds close to Lawrence.
It does.
Yes. Yes.
So
I
Peter,
was-
where
my
did
brain was-
Clarence come from?
Clarence, they said to me, they got, I took the name as Clarence, and they said it was Lawrence. They said that I wasn't listening close enough, but it was Lawrence.
But to me, it's astounding that it was that
know.
close.
That was.
It was that
It gave
close.
me
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Denise,
It gave me
we wish you
goosebumps, too.
good
Well, these are your
fortune
guides.
we wish you good fortune with the Brady Bunch, Denise.
Oh Lord.
Who knows? Maybe we'll be watching your show on TV.
Maybe.
The Brady Bunch 2022, starring Denise Davenport.
Right. From
Thank
Tennessee.
you for watching the show all the way from Memphis, Tennessee. We appreciate your friendship and your love and your support. Thank you so much. Now, Linda, I have to ask you, and I don't mean to put you on a spot, as you're watching all of this unfold,
Right.
it's not just the reading that Peter did with Denise, but also the nice lady who was on before, Laura. What is your reaction as you're watching this unfold, these readings with Peter?
Well, I mean, I have a couple of reactions. One, Peter's obviously very good. He's obviously very good at what he does. And having said that, I understand it. It's well, it's kind of almost natural in my world. I do so many things. I do remote viewing and all the rest of the activities in consciousness that it's clear to me. It's fun to watch him work.
It is.
And I love the accuracy, and I love the way his guides just like talk to him. I wish I could listen to my guides like that. And I've actually been trying to do that more. But my reaction is, it's totally believable. I get it. I mean, I operate in that world. I'm not as good as Peter, but I operate in that world. So I like it. It's all good to me. I think it's a part of life. I think it's a natural part of life.
Now, Linda, speaking of fun, I'm going to try to show a photograph that I had a lot of fun looking at. So
Okay.
I'm going to try to bring this photograph on screen, and I hope I do it right.
Okay.
But can you see this photograph?
Oh yeah. Mhm.
Okay. This is a photograph that Peter forwarded to me, and my understanding is that you took this picture. Now, why did I have fun when I looked at this photograph? I'm thinking of a few different words: mystical, mysterious, and otherworldly. Would you please explain? Now, this is a photograph you took. Would you please explain what this is?
Well, I took that photograph on Shasta Mountain, and I was up on Shasta Mountain, way up on the mountain, and we were having a contact expedition. So we're up there making contact with, otherworldly entities. And we were in the field. I had my full color night vision camera, and I had my camera pointed to the south. That photograph was taken to the south. And there was something that happened behind me in the other direction, up on Shasta Mountain. And everybody turned around to look at what was on the other, in the other direction. And I almost grabbed the camera and whipped it around trying to catch what was in the other direction. But there was that little voice in my head, right, Peter? That little voice in your head. And that little voice said, no, don't, wait. And I had a remote control or remote shutter release. So for the time lapse, it would, not shake the camera. So I had my back to this photograph when this photograph was taken. Nobody saw that light that's in that photograph because everybody was looking in the other direction. But I just kept releasing that shutter behind my back, and I did something I'd never done before. And then afterwards, another thing I don't usually do is when I'm on the mountain is look at the photographs at the time. I always wait until the next day. But there was something, again, that little voice in my head, that little voice said, look at those photographs. And I did. And when I saw that object, I couldn't believe it. And if you can blow that up, you can actually see structure in that little light there, on the left. And you can actually see a trail that it left. It lit up and it went to the left and came back to the right. You can actually see a little trail of light that goes all the way across that photograph in front of those trees. And if you look really close, you can actually see all kinds of lines of force in the sky. So there's all kinds of like weird little, spiderwebby kind of energy, twisty lines that are in the sky. And there's some really unusual some of those objects that look like stars in the sky are actually moving. So that's, and I'll say one more thing. Most people look at this and they think that lit up object is a craft or an entity. And I will tell you this, I will give you another option to consider. First of all, nobody really knows what it is. But I'll tell you that my father passed away 5 days before this photograph was taken. And we were on the mountain with Dr. Greer that night, and he said puja. The puja, it's a Sanskrit prayer, a very sacred Sanskrit prayer. He said puja for my father that night. And I think there's an outside possibility that that's my father's spirit. I don't know. We'll never know. Could be ET, could be a craft, could be my dad. But there is certainly a lot of mysticism to this photograph, yes.
Now, when I look at this photograph, and of course I see the trees in the center of the photograph, and I see the stars in the sky, and off to the left, I see that flash coming across. The other thing that I see, and maybe it's just me, Linda, but the other thing that I see when I look at the center of the photograph, and you see that tall tree in the middle, just above that tall tree, a little to the left of the tip of that tree, I see an eyeball.
Well,
I see an eye.
Well, there certainly is a circle there. There is no doubt about that. That is actually a constellation, and that constellation is known as the corona. And it's a little circle, almost like a little crown. Now, I think that's what you're looking at, a little circle of lights right over that center tree.
Yes. To me, what's coming across to me, and I see the circle of stars, but what's coming across to me, what I'm picking up from that image is the all-seeing eye.
I don't doubt it. I mean, it was a very, very magical night. We had a lot of contact that night, and this is a very, very sacred kind of endeavor that we do. We do a lot of praying and a lot of meditation, and we're really trying to communicate in consciousness. So it is really a very sacred and almost religious undertaking. So I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it for a moment.
Now, I'm going to bring Peter back. We're going to take this image off the screen because there is another image that I want to share with you, Linda, and with the group. The only other person who has ever seen this photograph, aside from myself and my wife and my son, is Peter. I haven't shared this with anybody. So this is the first time that this photograph is being shown publicly, but I'm going to put it on the screen right now. Do you see in the center of the screen, do you see what?
Yeah, I think we've lost your audio. Yes, I
now,
do.
What in the center of the screen, this, I just want to describe this picture. This picture was taken 2 months ago in May in Fountain Hills, Arizona, which is a suburb of Phoenix. It's near Scottsdale. It's a little northeast of Scottsdale.
Yeah.
And this was taken the middle of May. My wife and my son and I were out there in Fountain Hills on vacation. And we had just finished morning yoga, my wife and I, and something told me, Stefan, take a picture of the sun. Now, for anybody who has ever been to Arizona, you know that the sun is incredibly powerful. And taking a picture of the sun when it's bright like that is not really a good idea in terms of what it might potentially do to your camera lens. But I took the photograph anyway. And when I looked at the photograph, I was just astounded to see that white line of light coming down. Now, from an astral sense, if that's a way to put it, Linda, what are you seeing when you see this photograph? And then I'm going to ask Peter for Peter to repeat what he told me when he saw this photograph. But I'd like to go to Linda first, please.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty unusual photograph. I mean, it's not common to see a lens flare that is a straight line like that. And another thing I find really interesting about that is that there's obviously a center line and then another one. There's kind of like a little shadow right up to the next of it. And I don't know. I guess I would have to sort of spend some time with it. I think Peter's probably going to be the best person to interpret that.
It's interesting when Peter saw this. Peter, you also mentioned that you saw entities in this photo as well. A little to the center, right?
See spirits. I see spirits in this picture. I also see a connection, which I'm seeing now. There's a divine connection of a portal energy force coming from the trees up to the sky. So this is the concentrated energy that is in Arizona. And I see spirit orbs in the background. It's a very mystical, spiritual, uplifting picture to me. It's dealing with the corporeal world and it's dealing with the incorporeal world.
Yeah, one of the things that I mentioned to Peter when we were out in Arizona is that the energy that was out there in the month of May, we were there the middle of May, the 14th through the 21st, the psychic, intuitive, astral energy that was out there this time was the most powerful that I have ever felt it. And then I took that photograph and Peter interpreted the photograph for me. And I was conveying to Peter every day, Peter, the energy is so strong, it's actually wearing my body out. And it was just phenomenal. So Linda, when I saw the picture that you had shared with Mount Shasta, and I thought that I would share my photograph. And because I see, although one is during the day, one is at night, it's almost like the yin and the yang, the yin yang of the world.
So what did you see, Stefan? Yeah. When you look at that photograph, that was your photograph, they gave it to you. What did you see in it?
I see, to me, it is the hand of God reaching down. I see the hand of God reaching down, and I'm looking at the photograph right now. To me, it's almost like an umbilical cord. It's an umbilical cord, and I didn't notice it at first until Peter pointed out that there were beings, that there were spirits in this photograph, and I didn't notice it at first. I just noticed it as a blur. But then as I studied the photograph, I said, it's not a blur. Those are orbs. Those are spiritual orbs. And so Linda, you asked what I interpret.
Yeah.
I interpret that light as an umbilical cord connecting me to the divine, and to me, the spiritual orbs are guardian angels. And so when I look at this photograph, it's very powerful and it's very peaceful at the same time. It's very comforting. I take a lot of pictures. It's just something that has always been of great interest to me. And of course, nowadays with cell phones, it's easy to take pictures. Back when I started taking photographs as a kid, you put the little cartridge in the Instamatic camera and you took pictures and then you mailed them away. And a couple of weeks later, you got the pictures. And sometimes they came out and sometimes they didn't. And then, of course, as I got older and got into professional photography, there were more advanced 35 millimeter cameras. But it's much easier nowadays to take pictures. And so I'm sharing with this with the group for a couple of different reasons. Linda, I wanted to get your interpretation. I wanted Peter to share his interpretation. I wanted to share my interpretation. And I also wanted to share this with the group. And again, we've got people watching all over the world. I wanted to share this with the group from this standpoint. There are beings all around us. There are spiritual beings all around us that love us and want to guide us, and they want to connect with us. And we need to be more conscious and more cognizant of that. And that, to me, ties in with what you were saying on the show a little earlier, Linda, about consciousness, about being more conscious that we are not human beings searching for a divine experience. We are divine beings having a human experience. And one of the things that we talked about with you prior to coming on the show, prior to going live, Linda, is when Peter and I started this show a year ago. It was called Free Psychics Online. And we gave the show that name because the reality is we did a search and we saw that people were searching free psychic readings online. So we said, hey, let's do a show called Free Psychics Online. And it's not that that was a bad name, but we changed the name of the show to Find My Divine, because in addition to the really divinely gifted readings that Peter gives, we want to help people use that information that Peter is bringing forth from the divine to help people find the divine within themselves. And every week, our goal is, if we can make a positive impact on one person, just one person, then we feel that that show, that night's show, was worth it. So it might be somebody that is coming on for a reading, or it might be somebody that is just watching the show that maybe isn't ready to come on and talk about their personal life stuff in front of strangers watching around the world. But if only one person is positively impacted, then we feel we've done we fulfilled our mission for that week's show. So it was just interesting that we had those two photographs. And Peter, I see you. What is your thought?
Well, no, I just wanted to say also, which I did not convey to the our audience in the past, when we transitioned from free psychic readings on to Find My Divine, numerologically, we took our podcast to a much higher vibration. With the divine in the name now, the vibration is connected to the heavens. With free psychics, it wasn't. So I just wanted to let you know that I was doing this afternoon, and we took the vibration much higher.
Nice.
Speaking of positive vibrations, Crystal is emitting a positive vibration. Good evening to you, Crystal, and welcome to the show.
Hello.
What is your date of
Hi,
birth,
Crystal.
Crystal?
Hi, 12/25/79.
12/25/79. So that means you are a Christmas Day baby.
I am.
Now I have to ask you.
Yeah.
How does it feel to be born on Christmas Day? Do you get one present, which is supposed to be for two occasions, or do you celebrate both, or how does that work?
I used to. I got married and my husband spoils me pretty rotten. So it's been pretty
Okay.
good in my adult years.
Well, you seem like a nice person, so that's good that
Yeah.
you're getting spoiled. So, Peter,
Yeah.
what do we have for our friend Crystal?
Well, Crystal, what I wanted to say to you this year, over the next 2 years are going to be going through a spiritual awakening. I don't know if you feel it yet, but your energy level.
Sorry,
That's okay. You can't control the
airplane flying
airplane.
over.
Airplanes. I see your spiritual level is going to be increasing. Are you doing anything around meditation? Are you doing anything to connect yourself with the what I consider the incorporeal world?
No,
Are you doing not yet? All
not yet.
right.
No.
Do you feel
What do
a
you mean?
pull in it? Excuse
Like,
me?
what do you mean? What do you mean when
Well,
you
I
ask
mean,
that?
meditation, where do you feel that is your energy level any higher than it was a couple of months ago?
Yes. Yeah.
All right. How are
Yeah.
you using that energy?
I don't know. I'm still figuring
You
that out.
don't
Yeah.
know.
I guess more
All
like just
right.
recognizing
Okay.
that it's there. Yeah.
All right. The other
Yeah.
thing I wanted to ask you was telling me this. Do you know what your life purpose is here? Why you came into this life?
Yeah. I think I do.
All right. Are you helping people? Are you helping people at all?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
All right. Is
That's my
it
job.
in a medical? What's that?
That's what I do for a living. Yeah.
All right. Because I'm being shown healing. I'm being shown a healer, and I'm being shown somebody that works with people and heals them. You actually bring people this healing power here. Do you reckon?
Kinda. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
What do you do for work, hon?
I'm a medical case manager.
All right. Because I want to say this to you. As the next year goes, we go through the next year, I see you emotionally, psychologically, and physically helping people out. So, you're going to be doing something on the side. I don't know if you see it yet, but actually, you're going to be laying your hands on people. Are you going back to school? Because they're telling me when people come to you, do they tell you their problems to you?
Yes. Very much so.
All
Not just
right.
people at work, but friends and things like that.
Your
Perfect
friends.
strangers on the street.
Yes. You're meant to be a therapist. You're meant to be a healer. You're meant to do all these things. You've got an amazing brain for organization. You love to organize. You like putting things together. It drives you crazy, but you do it. And I think they're telling me you're a perfectionist. When it comes down to things, everything's got to be a certain way. Okay?
I'm recognizing that.
All right. They're saying in work that you like the organization. I don't feel you're just going to be staying where you are right now. The guys are telling me you're coming into your own. Are you understanding what I'm telling you?
Yeah, this is a stepping
All right.
stone.
So
I felt like that for a long time.
you felt like that so what are you doing with that wonderful energy?
Trying to figure it out.
All right, you're trying to figure it out. All right. The other thing they're saying to me medically, they're telling me you need to drink more water. They're showing me water. All right. They're telling me you need to cleanse your body with water. And I also want to say to you, are you aware that you're intuitive? Do you know that you have intuitive ability?
I'm starting to become much more aware of that. Yeah. Much more.
All right, because you are going to be giving people readings. You're going to be doing what I'm doing, even though you fought this for years. You never really believed in this. It was garbage to you. You never really thought it was.
I can't
No?
even tell you. I've always loved it, and I've always been intrigued by it. And
Okay.
I think it was more other people in my life who have tried to steer me away, and I was probably more steered away from it because of what others have said, not because of how I feel about it. Does that make sense?
That makes sense, but you're
I've always
now
felt a
coming.
strong connection to it. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Your guides are telling me that you're supposed to be doing this. They're saying don't listen to everybody else. You have been here for many lifetimes. You've been here for many, many lifetimes. And I'm going to share something else with you. You're going to be doing something around buying property. They're showing me property or buying property. You're going to be doing something with that in the future and selling. But I can actually see your guides behind you right now. And your guides are telling me your third eye is waking up now. You're going to be excited about the direction that you're going in. Do not be persuaded by your friends because you came in as a very old soul.
Yeah. I buy that.
You
Now, the only thing
recognize
that I
that?
want to contribute over and above what Peter is saying, I have to say, Crystal, for someone who has been here for several lifetimes, you look incredibly young. You still look so incredibly young.
It's got to be the lighting or something because I don't feel that young.
So we wish you good fortune as
Thank
you go further down this road of developing your psychic and intuitive gifts. And we
She's very
also,
gifted.
yes,
Yeah.
we invite you to come back and share your journey with us. And I would like to bring Linda on because Linda is an expert in a number of different things, and one of them is consciousness. So Linda, as you heard Peter give this reading to Crystal and tell Crystal that she has very powerful, very strong intuitive gifts, how does she go down this path of developing that consciousness of hers?
Well, that's a really easy one. What you do, Crystal, is you just practice. And you can try before, say, you go to a store, just ask yourself and, just be quiet and wait for an answer. What is the person going to look like that waits on me at the store? When you get a text, you can say, without looking, who is that text from and what is the text about? You can, before you go to the grocery store, imagine which grocery line is going to go faster. You can play these games all day long, project your consciousness forward, and imagine what you're going to see when you get to a certain point. What that'll do is it's going to give you a lot of feedback, and you're probably going to be really surprised at how accurate you are. And it'll begin to build your intuitive gifts because you're going to start to trust yourself. And you'll get some feedback and you'll learn how to adjust and go forward. You can do it with your paperwork, with the whatever you're doing, or your boss, or who's walking in the door, or who's coming down the hall, or any of those things.
I do it a lot, actually. It's so funny. I've had instances in my life where I have been really on, and people, I will say something like somebody like, like a boyfriend or whatever. I'll be like, listen, I think this and this and this is going on with your friend. And they're like, no, you're crazy. And legit, like maybe a month, 2 months later, we go back and they were like, yeah, like they were starting to tell us like what I thought was happening. And I remember it was actually my ex-husband. He was like, how'd you know? I'm like, I don't know. It was just very strong feelings I got about it. I was sad that I was correct, but I was right on.
Yeah. Well, just practice, keep at it. And just, you can walk down the street and you can try and, read somebody a little bit, or, just get a feeler energy. And what you'll learn is you'll start to kind of tune yourself.
Yeah.
Right? And you'll be able to turn it on. You'll be able to turn it off when you don't want it, but it's nice to be able to have it. And it's nice to be able to use it. And you can use it a lot of ways to make your life a lot
Oh,
better and the lives around you. Yeah,
I
you can
think
help
I
a lot
have
of
been.
people.
It's been helping me to make decisions for sure. Like,
Good.
you know, about people and places and things. So yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Well, Crystal, one of the things we hope your intuition does and your intuitive gifts, we hope that it guides you back to this show in the near future to give us an update on how things are going for you. Would you do that for us, please?
Absolutely. Definitely.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Nice to see you. Well, we're going to make room for one more reading. Tiffany has been waiting very, very patiently backstage, and we know we're kind of sort of up against the time limit. But you know what? We're going to cast caution to the wind. We're going to just take caution and throw it to the side. We're going to go a little overtime this evening to welcome Tiffany to the show. Now, Tiffany, where are you watching the show from this evening?
Monmouth, Maine.
Monmouth, Maine. And so are you a native to Maine?
I am.
Okay. Has anybody ever asked you if you're a maniac?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
And
Well,
I
there are. I just met Linda, so I shouldn't really say. But speaking on behalf of Peter and myself, there's two confirmed maniacs on this show. One is Peter, and one is me. Linda, we'll let you speak for yourself. But Tiffany, what is your date of birth, please?
November 13th, 1974.
November 13th, 1974. 11/13/74. Now, do you have a specific question for Peter?
Yeah.
Do you ever see me getting married?
Well, the first thing I'm going to say is that the guides actually were here earlier than I expected them to be. The guides are saying to me right now, in a very loving way, they're saying, do not focus on just getting married. They're saying, don't focus. Anybody tomorrow, honey, I could get up tomorrow. I could go to a store. I could walk in and say, oh, how would you like to go out with me? And in less than 6 months, wanting
Well,
to
Pete,
get married.
if I was in the store, I would say yes.
You would say, thanks,
Well,
honey, you don't want to get married. You want to fall in love. You want to fall in love with somebody that is your equal, somebody that is as gifted and loving as you. You don't want anybody can just get married.
Okay.
I feel,
that's true.
and I want to say this. All right, do you understand where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say to you that they are going to bring somebody in for you, but here's the key statement that they're telling me. How long have you been not in a marriage, in a relationship?
A few months.
All right, here is the key statement I'm going to make to you. They're saying to me, try to be happy right now. Don't expect a man to come in and a man to take all your problems and all your ills and cure them and give you answers. Right now, the guides are saying to me, be at peace with Tiffany. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
All right. You will be getting married. And they said to me, they are going to bring somebody in. I'm actually being given more towards November, but I want you to be at peace with yourself. And I want you to be happy with yourself. And then you're going to attract the exact mate that you want to settle down and be married. All right. Is that making sense to you?
Yeah. I've been trying to do that. Just doing things that make me happy and finding me again, I guess.
Tiffany,
Well,
as a
here's
life
the
coach,
other-
I would like to offer the following affirmation.
Go ahead.
I
Go ahead, Mike.
I want you to know, and I want you to believe beyond certainty that your life has a divine and positive purpose. And so I think one of the things that I know I have gotten out of what Linda has shared with us this evening is it's very important for you to release all negative thoughts and all negative feelings, and release all negative emotions, and release negative experiences that you may have had in the past. And come to believe through the core of your being that all good things, including a divine things, are possible for you, Tiffany. And you have to believe down to your soul that your potential for success is unlimited. And the first part of being successful is having a success consciousness. One of the things Linda has spoken so eloquently about tonight is consciousness. What is my consciousness? Well, if I'm focused on being alone and when is this magical person going to come into my life, and the sun is going to come out, and the rainbow is going to appear, and the heavenly choir is going to sing, and it's not happening in this second, then human nature is we tend to focus on what's not here. And part of consciousness, and Linda can certainly speak to this to a greater level of expertise than I can because of her many decades of work in the field of consciousness. But my work has led me to come to believe that see the thing first, and then it will develop. In other words, the common perception is I'll believe it when I see it. That's the common perception, the common thought. I'll believe it when I see it. And the correct perception is I will see it when I believe it. I will see it when I believe it. And it's very similar to the story in the Bible when Jesus appeared to the apostles in the upper room, and Thomas was not there that particular occasion. And so after that gathering, the apostles, they go to Thomas and say, hey, Jesus came to the room. And he said, are you kidding? I'll believe it when I see it. And what Jesus said to Thomas the next time they all gathered and Thomas was there, Jesus said, you will see it after you believe it. You got to believe it first. So believe that all these things, all these good things are possible for you, Tiffany, and also take to heart the words that Peter said. He said he sees a relationship coming for you in November. Well, this is July. August, September, October, November. Between now and November are 4 months for you to love and appreciate yourself. Not that you don't, but this is an opportunity to do so at a greater level, at a deeper level. So
I like it.
We wish, and we like you, and that's why we want you to come back on the show and give us an update on how you're doing. Would you do that, please?
I will.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Tiffany. God bless you. Linda, Peter, we're actually a little over time, but that's okay. I think that there's been a lot of great information that's come forth. And Linda, a lot of that has to do with what you have brought to the show this evening. And on behalf of Peter and myself, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your time and your talent, your incredible talent with us on this show. I know I have been greatly enlightened by what you have said.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Stefan. It was an honor to be here. I have very much enjoyed my time with all of you today and hope that I was helpful.
Peter, thank you very much for your amazing talent. I don't want to wear that word amazing out, but I have to say, Peter, the very first reading that you did with Laura earlier in the show, about an hour ago, you had a little bit of a technical glitch and you couldn't see her. And now this is someone you couldn't see. You've never spoken with, you've never seen them, you've never communicated. And you couldn't see Laura, but Linda and I could see Laura, and the look on Laura's face, I will have to get you the replay. The look on Laura's face as you were revealing one intuitive insight after another, her jaw dropped. She was just astounded. So, Peter, thank you again for sharing your divine gift.
My pleasure. Thank you for sharing your divine gift and Linda's divine gift.
And Linda.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Thank you very much.
We thank everyone for watching. We wish you good luck and good cheer and good fortune, and we wish you peace and safety, and may you find the divine within. Good luck to you. God bless you.